Hello, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the very first episode of Single Saturdays. I'm going to wait for a few of you to join in so we can talk about relationships and whatnot. Hey, Alyssa. Hey, girl. So, welcome, Alyssa. You're the first person to join. I'm excited about that. Hey, Tati. I need to call you and send you what I got for baby girl. Like, I don't think it's going to fit her anymore. Forgive me. So, I got my, one of my favorite love songs. Hey, beautifuls. I don't know if you can hear it. Lauryn Hill is one of my classics. Can you hear it? Oh, Mahogany Well. It's the remix of The Sweetest Thing. That's one of my favorites. What are some of your favorite 90s songs? I'll play it for you. What's your go-to love song? Alyssa, don't be shy. Oh, I don't know what happened. Might play Sade now. But anyway, we're waiting for the Taylors. Yes, let me go back. I hate when the technology wants to do things that you didn't ask it to do. Yeah, we're on that tip right about now. So the Taylors are going to join in shortly. But anything total? Okay. All right. I'll play some total for you. Which, anything? Okay. What about you, Alyssa? This was one of my favorites. Kissing You. We were in middle school. You remember back in the day when we were in middle school? We didn't have a boyfriend. We'd be like, ooh, yeah. Remember that? Am I the only one who did that? Remember? You guys, you remember that, ladies? No? Yep. Tati said yep. Can you hear it? Set the mood until Tiffany and Leroy join. So, right, Tati? Can you hear it? I don't know. I'm on YouTube, so there's different renditions. Life complete, yeah. Y'all feel it? Woo! Gotta set the mood. Listen, I'm still single, okay? So I'm waiting for my Boaz. No, I'm not waiting for Boaz. Tiffany said Boaz is dead, so I'm not waiting for Boaz. I'm waiting for my king. So in the meantime, I gotta set these intentional moments up, you know, because vacations are gonna happen in 2021. That is my plan. That's the goal. 2021 vacations. Alyssa, don't be shy. You're probably on the couch sipping wine, okay? Tati, what are you doing right about now? Spice Girls, okay? Don't be shy. Listen, I'll play total for a little bit, and then I'll bust out some Spice Girls for you too. Because listen, Tatiana and I went to predominantly white schools. Tati and I were the only two black girls who got invited to go to Washington D.C. for wait, hold on. Wait now, hold on. Forgive the reggae just busting out. Sorry, that was this morning, okay? But Tati and I were the first ones to go to Washington, D.C. So we were smart girls. We were smart young ladies. And it was about maybe a group of 10 of us who got invited to go to D.C. So Tati and I go a long way. And Tatiana is an entrepreneur in her own right. You gonna run to the store? Okay, no worries. So for sure, like Tati is a brilliant woman. So you two should definitely get to know each other once this is over. So I'm gonna bust out some Spice Girls for you until Tiffany and Leroy come on. Ah, Tiffany! Tiffany's here! Yes! Alright, I'm playing some Spice Girls. I'm setting the mood for love, Tiffany. Setting the mood for love. Alright. So I'm playing Wannabe. Alright. I'm gonna just play this in the meantime. So I'm gonna go ahead and add you. So welcome Tiffany and Leroy. Alright, hold on. I'm working on it. Send a request. Okay, view. All right. Where they at? Oh, snap! Hold on. Hold on. I wasn't ready.
Can you see us good?
Oh my God. Hold on. Yes, I can see you. Hold on now. Leroy said I'm
or
close.
are we too far away, or should we get closer?
No, I mean, y'all look good.
Okay.
If you can get closer, that would be great, because you're a little distant. Can you get closer?
Let me see. I can pull it up.
Y'all so cute. Leroy just like, I'm here. I love it. I love it.
That's cool.
Alyssa says hi.
Hello. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see good.
Y'all look good. Listen, Leroy, did she prep you on what you could and could not say?
No, it's wide open. It's wide open.
Oh, it's wide open. I love that. That's why I love y'all.
Oh, my goodness.
No worries.
Okay, is that better?
Much better. I want to be up close and personal. Y'all look good. Y'all look happy. Y'all look. Listen. I always be asking Tiffany the most inappropriate questions. I don't know if she be telling you, Leroy.
No.
Let me see if this will help us too. I'm gonna put this little light right here because we're in our theater, so I want to make sure that you get the proper.
I got in the background, so
okay.
I set the mood. All right, I'm gonna play with this lamp one more time, and this better not mess with me. All right.
No.
Hey, hello everybody. Sorry, it's my fault. Comment to my perfection. Me want to be all together, and I couldn't figure out where we wanted to set up. Leroy was like, "We should go in your beauty room. It's purple. You know where I always do my sister talk lives."
Yes.
He was like, "We should go in your beauty room." I was like, "No." So I was trying to figure out where we would set up, where the lighting would be good and everything like that. So we decided to film in the Taylor Cinema. We're in our theater room.
Listen, you two look amazing, and I want to just say a huge thank you for being my very first guest on Single Saturdays. Now, I got to tell you, I got to warn you, I just literally came from brunch. So when you was like, give us about 10 minutes, I was like, good, because I literally ran in the house.
Yes.
And I got my handy dandy water, okay? So we working through this.
Huh? I should have got my water. I left it in the other room, but it's all good.
You sure you don't want to get it?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So thank you so much for coming. And today's topic is how to know you found the one, you know, and the secrets to a healthy marriage. I do value you two because you two are like that cool brother, sister / you know, big cousins, you know what I'm saying? To where like you're hip, you're fun, and you make love seem so amazing. And I always tell T, like, y'all got that 90s love, you know, y'all got that for real. Like when I asked her, T, what your song was, and she told me, you know, love is stronger than pride. I was just like, for sure, you know, Sade is the truth. And my Aunt P, who passed away, like she introduced me to Sade. It was one summer, I don't know where we went to a concert, and Sade was there. And when I tell you, she bought all of Sade's albums, and we were listening to Sade every day.
We have all of her music. That was one of the our connections when we first met. We found out that we liked the same music.
Yeah.
He was in love with Janet Jackson. I swear, if she would have gave him a shot, we wouldn't be married today. Yeah.
Leroy said, "Yep, no lie told."
No. He was in love with some Janet Jackson, honey, and so I had to join the Rhythm Nation to get his attention.
Yeah, just bust her out the way, though. Just bust her out the way.
I love it.
We found out when we would have our talks while we were courting, while we were dating, and we would always talk about what we wanted in the future, what our future looked like, what we wanted to be doing. And so Sade was one of our favorite artists, but it's still into this day. She's one of our favorite, one of the most smooth, but she always touched both of us very deeply soul-wise. And so we always said, you know, we had at the beginning of our relationship, you know, like most relationships, we had our ups and downs. So Love is Stronger Than Pride was one of our very first favorite love songs. Love is Stronger Than Pride.
Yeah,
I love that.
it speaks
That's
to it. I
beautiful.
mean, giving anything for love, and
Mm.
sacrificing. And one of the things I would say that when people come together, a lot of times they allow their past to interrupt their future. Meaning,
Mm.
you're with someone, you carrying baggage from past relationships, and you have to let that go and give the new person an opportunity without judging them based on your past history. So I would say, don't let your history disrupt your future. And that's kind of how we came together. We had some baggage, and we had to let it go. I know
You
I
had
had baggage.
baggage.
You did too. We both had baggage, and you had to
Right. That's honest,
compromise
Leroy.
and let
I
it go.
appreciate that. Yeah.
And then that whole thing of love stronger than pride,
Yes.
meaning doing it for love. Let your pride
Right.
fall aside. Yeah.
Right. I was just reacting off of Tiffany. I wasn't laughing at you because the
Oh, it's
way
all
she looked
good.
at you, I was like, okay.
That's cool.
No, but that was beautiful, Leroy. And I just love to hear that I love to hear men speak their truth especially when it comes on to love, because when you're in the dating process. Listen, okay, I need both of y'all to pray for my husband because I don't know where he at. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he doing. I just need him to hurry up. But in the midst of all of that, like how you two just come together and just make it work and have history, 30 something years of marriage. I
31.
look at that as such a beautiful testament. Like, I don't know how you all did it. And when you think about the courting process and getting through the work, the beginning stages of baggage, like our society today, if you sneeze wrong, they be like, listen, I don't like the way you sneeze. This is not gonna work.
I'm
Yeah.
done.
I'm done. Good luck. Hi, Joanne. How are you? So for sure, it's definitely something to look forward to when it does happen for me. But outside of me, because it's not about me, it is about the both of you.
Yes, it is.
One
It's your show, girl.
I know, but it's really about you because I gotta learn. I'm gonna take notes, okay? Question though, I do want to ask you this. What was the first thing that you liked when you saw Leroy T? I mean, I'm sorry, Leroy, when you saw T, what's the first thing about her that draw you to her? And I want you to be honest. And the
Oh
same
yeah.
thing, T.
I'm gonna tell you, it was her Dimples, because I didn't even know her name, but I just called her Dimples. I said, "What's up, Dimples?" And then she smiled, and it just caught my attention. And I don't know if you know our whole story, but she used to hang with my brother and his girlfriend. And I asked my brother, I said, "Who was that?" And talked to him and told him, I said, "I'd like to, get to know her." But it was her dimples that caught my attention the first time I saw her.
Oh, yeah, you got cute dimples, T. Okay, same question. What's the first thing that you recognized about Leroy that you was
His
like, "Ooh,
eye.
girl"?
His
His
eye.
eyes.
Yeah, I was in the car, like you said, with my neighbors that lived across the street. And his brother was my neighbor's boyfriend. And so we used to hang out all the time. Me and his brother were best friends. And so I didn't even know his brother, he had a brother. And so I was in the car with her, and we were going to go see his brother, which his name is Leonard. And so we were driving down one of the streets that was in the area in which they grew up in. And she stopped because she saw him. And he got out the car and came and say hey to her. And I was sitting in the back seat. He got out the car, came and say hey to her. And I looked at him. I was like, and I didn't say nothing. I'm saying in my head, I was like, he's fine with his chocolate stuff. Because, he always had this beautiful chocolate skin.
Yeah.
And so I was like, who is that? So I'm saying in my head. So then he came behind the seat and Kim introduced her. She was like, that's my friend Tiffany. Tiffany, that's Leroy. So he came behind us when he said, hey, Dimples. And I was like, hey. And but I didn't let him know at the time. I had my little cancer. I was in my shell. So I was like, hey. And I let him go back to the car. So when he went back to the car, I asked Kim, I was like, who is that? He was fine with his chocolate. She said, that's Leonard's brother. I was like, what? Because all this time I did not know that my partner, my buddy, had a brother, and that fine at that. So
He was trying to hide you, Leroy. Was he jealous?
Yeah. Just running in different circles, that's all.
Okay, no worries. I love that. I love that part of it. Like the introduction, because I think when two people meet, they don't know what the full picture is gonna be off bat, you know?
Right.
But the thing about it is attraction. So the attraction has to be there. So when did you recognize the chemistry was there?
Ooh.
Okay, well, I don't know if this classifies as chemistry, but a lot of times people say they don't believe in love at first sight. Well, me and Tiff went on our first date. I called her up, and it was supposed to be a double date with my brother and his girlfriend. Well, they sold us out. So me and Tiff went on our date. We went down to this pier, and someone else was down there celebrating a birthday. And it was just, to me, it was poetic. You know, it was our first date. We talked a little bit. I asked her, what does she want out of life? And just try to tap into what direction she was coming from. And during the course of that date, I grabbed her we was under the moonlight, and I grabbed her and kissed her. And from that kiss, I told her I felt like that was the woman for me. I felt that. I felt a whole different
He didn't
feeling.
tell me that at the time, but as we,
Yeah, I didn't tell her immediately, but I felt that in my heart that night. I knew there was something different from her, different about her as opposed to everyone else that I had talked to. And I wanted her. And that was I think that was on a Saturday night. So that Sunday, all I could think about was her and that kiss. And what was funny, we didn't have cell phones back then.
Not.
And I was, I was in an area that I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a cell phone. So I walked about maybe 3/4 of a mile to a phone to call her.
A pay phone.
Yeah, to a pay phone.
Wow.
And she was gone. She was out. But from that date forward, I knew that's who I wanted. I took a tour of my black book. I told my brother and his girlfriend, I said, I found the woman I'm looking for. It's just a feeling that I felt that night.
Okay, because I want to get the male perspective, and I respect that so much. What was the feeling? Was it tingles? Was it just like you just knew, like God told you, like this is the one? Like,
well, it's kind of like prior to going out with her, I had been out with other women. I had been out with gold diggers. I've been out with women that drink more than me. I've been out with bougie women, all kind of women. But Tiff was real. She talked to me real and intelligently. She was interested in me, interested in my ideas. And I was interested I finally had a conversation with somebody on the same plane that I was on. And even when I asked her about her future, she had some ideas and things that she wanted to do. And it really touched my heart. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done searching. This is who I want.
How did you feel?
Right.
Oh, yeah. It was just,
but
yeah.
Did your hair stand up?
No.
No,
it was just like,
she asked.
okay, well, it's just like, it's just a knowing. Yeah, it was just a knowing. It was like just something just came over me, and it was like, I love this woman. And I didn't tell her that night, but just being with her, having a good time, and it was like the perfect date. Even though they sold us out, I felt so happy being with her, just being around her. And it lifted my spirits. Just being around her lifted my spirits. And she was beautiful to me. And it just, I felt complete. I put it like that. I felt complete after searching and going through all this mess. And here's a beautiful woman who makes me feel good. And this was a short period of time. The conversation we were having, the things she wanted out of life, and it just aligned. And a lot of times people, they set their standards so high, what they want from someone. And that a lot of times they miss their blessing. They miss the person because they have such high standards. He got to make this amount of money. He's got to be this. With the simple things, being able to talk, feeling good with somebody. Because even future past that date, me and Tiff have been several trips and stuff, and we have a good time when we go out of town and spend time together because we meshed together real good. And that night I felt that. I felt complete, and we went forward from there.
That's so beautiful, T. How does that make you feel listening to that, T?
He talks like this about me every day. So it just reiterates why I'm in love with him deeper and deeper every day. He makes sure every day I have my flowers. He makes sure every day he tells me I'm beautiful. He loves me. how he feels about me. I mean, it doesn't go, he don't go a day without saying that. I'm so sincere. It's not something that he has to, fake the funk and make sure it's on a schedule. He just makes sure, like, he does that. Like every morning now, he kisses me before he goes to work. It's just, he's like that. He talks about me. Like, I swear to God. And I was on his phone trying to tell people that we were on live, so forgive me if I was looking down. And if I was to open this up, people would swear. If he lost his phone, people would swear he was stalking me because it's full of pictures of me. He don't have no other pictures, like pictures of me naked, pictures of me with clothes, pictures. He got pictures of me all through this phone. I was like, don't lose that phone. Yeah.
But you know what? I respect that. I can totally respect that, because I think that's what every woman desires, is for their man, or their husband, I should say, is to desire them daily, and it never gets old. You hear people that say that, it gets stale after a while, but I mean, you two have really reinvented love every day. Because I mean, when I see T smiling, and when I don't see you all the time, Leroy, but when I do see you, you just chill, you just comfortable, you good, you happy,
But I think that's the work. As we talked before on Sister Talk Live, so we talked about relationships, and I always tell you, in my retrospect, and my belief, and my understanding, and true experience, that love, you don't have to work at. Love is always what it is. Love is consistent. It's unconditional. You don't have to work at love, but you do have to work at your relationship. So with your relationship with your spouse, the love will always be there. I don't care how hard the seasons get, because we do in marriage have hard seasons, good seasons, blissful seasons, and then a real rough die seasons where we like, but love is consistent to that. My love has never changed for him towards that in any season of our relationship. But the relationship is what you have to work at. And you have to work at learning people's love language, learning what makes him happy, learning what he needs from me, learning what I need from him, And so we just mastered that, being together for so long, because it was not we never thought about putting anybody in that place. And when we got together, one of the first things we did say was that divorce was not an option. We always said that, because we come from broken homes. I'll come from a divorced home. He comes from a divorced home. So we worked at our relationship because we love each other. And when you love someone, you always want to make it work. And even in, like I said, even in the hardest times. So in this generation of love, that's the problem. The relationship, they think love hurt. Love doesn't hurt. Love didn't hurt us. It's the relationship. And when you want people to be a certain way, you can't manipulate people to be a way, but you can love them in a way. Like I love I love the scripture that says love covers a multitude of sin, but I don't think people really pretty much understand that. Love, what it means is love would cover anything that when you love somebody that they do. I'm not saying abuse, and I'm not saying getting punched in the face and violence and things like that, but I'm saying the things that most relationships go through. You can cover that with love while you're working your relationship. You would keep in your head, I know I love you, so we're going to work at this. Right. And that's where people fail at in this day and time, is that they don't like to work the relationship, and they think love just gonna magically take everything away. But it's really the relationship that you got to work at. And so, because I love this chocolate man, I work at that relationship.
Listen, what'd you say, Leroy?
No, she's right. She's right. Because I tell guys, even guys I work with, that it's working that relationship is a 24/7 job. Your love motivates you. Like if you go in the store and you say, "Oh, my wife would like that," or "My wife would like this. Let me get this for my wife," because you're thinking about that other person, like like the word says, that's the other half of your body. This is a part of you, and so you think that, you get that in your head, and when you go places, you say, "Oh, my wife would like this. She would like that," and you do things for her, like she does things for me. I mean, I can say, "Baby, I need a hot bath today on my way home from work." I get home, I got a nice bath, I can sit in there and chill. It's the same thing with her. She's like, "I need my feet rubbed tonight." You got it. I got it. You do things for each other. It's a 50-50 thing that you give it. It's a give and take. And a lot of times some people are selfish and they're all about themselves.
That's the key word.
And and then they lose people, or try to rush in. I need this, I need this, I need that. They so needy. You gotta give and take and to make it work. You see someone, I mean, they may have some struggles. Well, I'll help you through this struggle. That love part will help you to help them through the struggle.
Yeah.
To help build that relationship. And it's not easy. People think everything comes together. Everyone has their struggle. And anything that's been given or gotten is through some kind of struggle or some kind of fight. Like you have to fight for love.
Like, I don't think we would have known how strong our relationship was if we didn't have those struggles. We came down here early with our children. I just turned 25. And when we moved down here, we celebrated your 29th birthday. We went to this club called the Warehouse. And so, which, oh my God. But anyway, our children were babies, stepladders. And so we had to take this venture of being down here away from our family, away from our friends that we knew and everything like that, to learn how to love one another and cling to one another and be able to work at it. And I think that's one of the best things that God could have ever done for us. Because if we would have stayed home, I think we probably would be a mess.
Yeah.
We've got too much family, too many friends, too many people who don't want to see you succeed but want to see you fail, and things like that. So,
that did help. It helped a lot getting us away from that.
Yeah.
And I tell, even today, some of the guys I talk to, I've got some friends that I've seen date their wives and then get married and all that. And along the way, I've talked to them. And some of the things I said, like, you got to look at it as like it's me and her against the world.
Right.
When you're in that relationship, it's you two against the world. So you got to have a strong foundation, because whatever comes against you guys, you got to be able to handle it, work it out, and keep it moving.
Oh, yeah, because we had some things come up. We are not a magic couple. I've had women try to come after my husband. He had men trying to come after me. And, we've had financial issues. We got married young. I was 19. So we had those real life struggles that people see. People see us now because I'm 50 now and he's 53. So people see us now living our best life because we done went through, all of the things that would make a marriage break or make a marriage. And you see people get in their years when their kids are grown, and you see people divorcing, but it just brought us closer together, because it's like, this is what we've been waiting on. We had kids so early, we didn't get a chance to travel, and we traveled with the kids. They went everywhere with us. We traveled a lot with the kids. Yeah. But now it's just he and I in this big old house. We get to do what we want. We travel. We redirected our money so we could do what we want with our money. We got to take care of no more children. Right. So it's all together lovely. So we get to dive deeper into one another to see what one another needs, because we evolve still as people. He's his own person, I'm my own person, so we forever evolving, and so we have to learn each other as we evolve. We're not the same 19 and 20 something year old person. We evolve as you grow, so the evolution has just been beautiful.
Right.
It's not always been easy, but at the end, it's been beautiful, and it gives us a better understanding that we truly know that this is my twin flame. He's the one that I was supposed to be here with. Like, I always read. So my book called Sacred Contracts, I love that book, and he is my sacred contract.
Right. He's your sacred contract. I think that's beautiful, T and Leroy. Being in the single journey is not easy because, like you said, everybody wants that instant gratification. No one is really willing to put in the work, and it's not always easy. But I think the self-work is important before anyone gets in a relationship. Like, you two were young, but I think an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old in Ohio is a lot different than an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old in today's society. You probably experienced more, saw more, felt more. You have more of an old soul back in those days. Like, I see that. Like, so you ever see people pictures from back in the day and they look older than they did back then than they do now. There's
Yeah.
that era of just, adulthood, so things weren't sugar coated for that generation. So I really think it's beautiful. And I know in the midst of when you were speaking, you were saying how you had to overcome some things. And if you could touch on that a little bit, not the details, but like how this generation of 20s, 30s, 40s who have not been married, who are still single, and who may not have children, to prepare them for their husband or wife if that's what God has for them, and what are some tips to kind of get through those rough patches?
Well, as for me, like I said, I met him when I was 18, turned 19. So we began to court around my 18. I was still 18 and then I turned 19 and this story goes on. But what happened was when I was in high school, I grew up, I was a latchkey kid. I had very low self-esteem. I had divorced parents. My father was an alcoholic, very abusive home. So I would have never even seen this. But I had low self-esteem, grew up very religious. So it was a lot for me as an individual that I had to overcome and do. But I didn't even overcome that when I met him. I was still that broken individual. But at that time, I was graduated from high school. I was ready to figure out my life. And I was dating the guys, and some of the guys in Ohio, not all of them, because we have some great men in Ohio, but some of the guys that I chose at that time, anyway, they were not, I was sick of the type of men that was only available if you wanted a nice life. You had to deal with drug dealers, or you had to deal with people who was in the wrong kind of life. And I wasn't about that life. I'm a lady. I ain't trying to kill nobody to show how hard I am, and I ain't trying to go down that.
Nope.
So I actually, before I met him, I became celibate. I didn't know. I just did not want to deal with no men. I wanted to just focus and just be to myself. So I stopped having sex with my boyfriend. I broke up with my boyfriend, stopped having casual sex and things like that. I just let it all go. And it did not take long. It did not take long. It maybe took a year later, and I met him. And when I met him, I did not know he was the one. I had a dream about him, but I still did not know it was him even till I saw what was in the dream come into fruition as we began to date more. But he, as a matter of fact, I only was celibate, but our relationship, he healed me in a lot of areas in my insecurities. So, our relationship was more of healing together, growing together, and so he was a big part of my healing and why Tiffany even loves herself even the more.
That's beautiful. What were you going to say, Leroy? You look like you about to say something.
Well, I was going to say we complement each other. That's a big important issue. Whatever that was ailing her, and I let her know that's not a factor. I love you in spite of whatever you think. And she understood that. And then a reciprocation came, things that I wanted to do, and she encouraged me as her husband to go forward with it. And even with, being a single man, when I met her, I had been through several relationships and dealt with all kind of different women and stuff. So when I met her, I realized that I had gold. And the more time I spent with her, the more I felt better and better, even about myself. Because when you meet someone, they have a standard where they say someone marries up or dates someone above their level. And I acknowledged that when I met her, I was like, this is different than what I've experienced before. And I was like,
tell me what you said, baby. I'm above your level.
Yeah,
I was above his level.
This is above my
and
level.
I didn't even know that. That's how messed up I was. And not messed up per se, but that's how,
you didn't realize who you were.
Right. I didn't know my worth.
Wow. Uh-oh. All right, we got a little Wi-Fi tech. Can you see me? See, Leroy? All right, we're going to give it a little second because this was good. Hold on.
But I love my baby. She made me happy from day one. And just a little tidbit. After that date we went out, this is how I knew it was real because I couldn't remember what she looked like. I was just drawn to her. I just loved her. I couldn't remember her face. I couldn't remember if she had a beautiful face, if she had long hair. I just know that I wanted to be with her. And that's
Right.
real. When you can feel it inside, you know. After going
it's
a lot of times
real.
guys, yes, yeah, because a lot of times guys are not honest, and especially if you've been treated badly by women and gold diggers and women, promiscuous women and all that. So men generally get a lot of baggage just from the effect of their relationships. So it's hard to trust and it's hard to believe. But I took the step when I felt that. I took the step of going forward. And like I said, I couldn't even think of what she looked like. I just know I needed to be with her. I wanted to be with her. And I told her that. She thought I was playing, but I was serious.
But you just said something that really makes more sense to me as we continue our journey in love and in our relationship. He said something, and we both did not recognize what each other looked like. Because I remember my mama asking me, well, what do we look like? And I was like, I don't know. But this is what stood out to me, even as he was talking about it. These revelations you get as you evolve in your relationship. We even knew then spiritually, if we would have known then spiritually, we were connected first spiritually before we were connected naturally because we were drawn to each other. You know how people say they're looking for their twin flame or their Boaz, which is dead. There is no Boaz. Boaz is dead. You can't bury Boaz. He had a wife. Let's leave Boaz in the ground.
She dead too.
Okay, right. But that even shows me the more that we were sent here to be together because our spirits connected first, way before our physical body connected with each other.
Right. And that speaks volumes because it's a spiritual connection first. And, I love that to the point where it's like we take our day-to-day for granted. And I was listening to something yesterday and the conversation was, it's not about perfection. It's not about trying to be perfect. It's about growing to be better. You understand what I'm saying? And overcoming those hurdles. And that's something that I was struggling with for a while because it's like, oh, well, I look better than this girl. Or you know what I'm saying? We compare ourselves to other people, and it's not an easy road. You just have to focus on yourself. Focus on your lane. Don't look to the left and to the right of you. Focus on your destiny, and it led you two right together. As beautiful and comfortable as you are. You know what I'm saying?
I would say do soul work, for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be too spiritually minded where earthly good. So you want to have a good balance. So when you do meet and whenever love decides to call your name and bring forth just do your soul work. I noticed when I was focusing on myself, that's when he showed up. When I was focusing on wanting a man, wanting this, I was attracting the wrong guys. So when you focus on yourself and you focus on you and love you, and I didn't even get a chance to do all the love work, and he showed up and he helped me continue my love work. And that's what relationships do. You help each other. Like even with sisterhood, that's the problem with people. They don't understand the reason why they have bad relationships is because they don't have a good relationship with themselves. So first you have to have a good relationship with yourself, and then even if you just started, that's the thing. I just started. I wasn't all the way there, but when he showed up, we continued the journey together. And so you have to get past that point and get past what you want him to look like. Because I was that way when I was 19. He'd tell you he said, I wasn't the type of guy you want, because I dated tall, light-skinned, bow-legged guys. And
not bow-legged.
Girl, but Leroy is bold, ain't he?
Okay.
But and he's chocolate and he's fine to me. He is fine to
Right.
me. I don't care about nobody else. And that's
Right.
the thing when it comes to attraction,
Mm-hmm.
people want what they want in the outer source. But I got what I needed spiritually. And then
Right.
the outer came together. I didn't have to worry about it because it was all there. So that's what you have to get past. Get past this list of things that you want. And when you're young, that's what you want. I want such and such. He fine. I want this. But that fine brother may beat the crap out of you. That fine brother may cheat on you. That fine brother may not have what you need spiritually. And so what I can say is with our relationship, he's everything I needed, and I know that I'm everything that he needed. So it's, and we just work our stuff together, honey. We just work together.
Wait, okay, so can I ask a question? If let me know if it's not too invasive, okay? So I know that sometimes people, it's like they want to trust the process, but they don't trust the process. So they want to sample. They want to sample, like, I got to test drive this before I get married. And, like you said, you grew up very religious, as did I, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm at a place where I'm a few years celibate, and it's not easy, you know what I'm saying? But I've been focused, you know what I'm saying? I be telling no, okay? One, because it's the chemistry. If I don't feel comfortable, then I'm not gonna do something I don't feel comfortable doing. And at the same time, too, I think when we grow through life, we kind of recognize the bamboozlement of certain guys and the sweet talking. So when you meet the one, like you two met each other, okay, so the chemistry is natural. Just hear me out, right? So the chemistry is natural. So if we're going to trust God with bringing us the one, God knows all of our desires and our needs, and he's going to know, he knew your sex drive and he knew Leroy's sex drive, right? So if he knows, if you two are twin flames, I feel that, like, you two are twin flames. You're a reflection of each other. So you are compatible in all levels. I think people are so tainted by past experiences and past relationships that they don't trust it. Like, all right, God, it's everything that I want, but I still gotta test drive it. I gotta put the key in the ignition. You know what I'm saying? Would you advise that? Would you not advise it? And what are your thoughts about I don't even call it premarital sex. We're grown. You know what I'm saying? We're not teenagers. Everybody here is grown. So what do you feel about it?
Test drive that damn car. Okay, let me tell you something. Test drive that damn car, because ain't nothing worse than being in a relationship that you get into and you have not tested the water, and the person has horrible sex. I am a Cancer first, okay? I'm a Cancerian woman. We are very sexual, passionate beings. If Leroy could not perform the way I need, we would not be sitting here together today. He knows the first and foremost, I married him first for our sexual activity. He'll tell you, I married him first. Yeah.
So chill. Leroy, pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back, Leroy.
It's all good. But I'm going to tell you, Erica, that's so true, because we couldn't keep our hands off each other. After that initial date and a couple dating, at the first opportunity, we were on each other. We were even at other people. We were at other people's house in their bathroom.
They not inviting us over to the house. They would be so mad at us.
Because that attraction was so strong. I can't explain it, but that was that love, passion that pulled us together.
Oh my God.
We wanted to be together. So we at somebody else's house, and they looking at us like we crazy, and they want to ask us to leave. But that's how strong passion can be. That love and passion comes together. It's so strong. So yeah.
We definitely was. We used to be invited over to our friend's house to play cards and stuff. And I'll be like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back. And then Leroy would be like, I'll be back. I go to the. We be in the bathroom getting it in. By the time we come out, they'd be like, we know what y'all was doing. We was trying to play game. And we was like, we sorry.
The whole evening was spoiled. The game was off.
People stopped inviting us over. And we would be at home having a good time. And then they would be coming over our house, knocking on the door, trying to interrupt our sex flow. We left them knocking on the door one day. I heard one of our friends told us, they was like, we heard what y'all was doing, but then we said you should have called first. We did call. We told you we was on the way. But then if you heard us doing what we need, you should have just waited in the car until we was finished. You ain't getting in. Yeah, but our chemistry was one. And I do say, for me, I had to test drive because I'm not about to be with nobody who can't have sex. I just couldn't do it. I mean, and that's equivalent to me. And God knows how and what. Yes. Do I believe that? Do I believe that you should do it? Look, you're not supposed to test drive everybody you think is your potential husband. No, that makes you just out there. Right. I'm saying someone who you feel
check all the boxes, everything is fine, and you like, this is the last thing, we need to do this. And once you do that, you will know if that's right or not. If it's complicated, there's problems, and just don't feel ain't right, then you know it's not right. But if everything clicks and it's flowing, and I don't mean to say check boxes, because a lot of times people put their standards so high that they run people off, or either they go out to dinner and they be like, well, I want to get married next week, I want to do this, and you just run the person off. But if you check the boxes, everything is comfortable, and you feeling that person, and y'all engaging in conversation, and everything is flowing, that's the last thing you need to know is the physical. And if that works out, you in the business right there. Everything else is negotiable.
I think people, that's the problem with this generation, is that they're afraid of the love journey. Everybody want to be in love and want to be happy, but they're so afraid that they make fear push them out of actually being with their twin flame. I bet you a lot of people have met their mates, but because the fear of actually taking the journey in love with working with your relationship, people are afraid of it. Well, what if he hurt my heart? What if she cheat? What if the bomb dropped today? You will never know because you ain't never been married and tried it.
Right. You don't put in the effort in all of these hypotheticals. And that's the problem with fear. Like, and that's what I love that you said earlier, how you moved away. You moved out of Ohio because you felt like if you would have stayed in Ohio, people would have been all in y'all ears. Well, Tiffany do this and Leroy do that. Yeah.
Yes, they was doing that when we was there, honey. They was doing that when we was there. They was doing that when we moved. But when they moved, they had to learn how to stop because we didn't pay them no attention. And most of the people who was trying to, they ain't even with their mates or who they was with when we first met them, and we still together. So I don't care a freaking flaming less.
And that's the problem with people. They need to worry about themselves. And that's the thing, too. When God brings two people together, it is about keeping your temple, your divinity, your sanctity sacred, And I know, like, my husband's somewhere close by because I keep dreaming about him. And at the end of the day, that's one thing God tells me. He said, keep it sacred. Yeah. There's certain things you keep sacred. Working silent, you know what I'm saying? Keep your finances private and keep your relationship private. Those three things is nobody's business because people are just looking to see who's doing worse than them or wishing that somebody would do worse than them. And I love the fact that you up and move and look, the sex still great. Y'all still happy. Y'all enjoying each other. Y'all look at see.
Yeah, I'm thinking about tonight. Now let me go ahead.
Like, baby, you did that. I'm like, baby, you did that. And y'all gonna have a good time tonight.
I would never want nobody to be a fly on our wall in our house because they would be like, did that just come out of their mouth? Did y'all would hear the way we love on each other and get into each other? It would be like, you would never imagine. But that's just what love does. So.
But Leroy is so chill. And let me tell you something. That's one thing. That's one thing I always recognize. I hate when dudes be like, oh, girl, I invented it. And I'm like, you ain't got to say nothing. People who...
Oh, no. He's he is. That's one of the things that I could not understand what attracted me to him. But he's very... Leroy is not... he gets in his zone to talk, but he is a very laid back... chill kind of, but when it comes to us making love, like when I remember the first time we did make love. And I was like, this Negro set me up. He got me drunk on Coke 45 and kicked them drawers.
She said that to this day.
I swear he did. I'm going over to my friend's house. They had it all set up. His friend wasn't going to be there so he could use his house, and we was there by ourselves. This Negro bought some Coke 45. I used to love me some Coke 45. It was every time. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. And that Negro had a 6-pack, and I'm just drinking. Next thing you know, I had my panties off, everything else. We was
The rest is history.
The rest is history. And I told him, I said, you set me up. And he tried to act like you know anything about them Sagittarius. They speak. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure we had the perfect atmosphere. If it happened, it was cool. If it didn't, it was cool.
He knew it was going to happen with that damn Coke 45. He knew that was going to happen.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
That is too funny.
But we compliment each other because I'm a quiet person. Tiff is she's more expressive and outspoken. I'm quiet and chilled unless things get disrespectful, and then I step in. And I'm gonna tell you, I had a temper when I was a kid, and I kind of got rid of that. But there's a level that I can get a temper. If you disrespect my wife or my family, I'm coming loose, and that's,
you don't want to see that.
And I don't go that way. But for the most part, I'm cool. I'm chill. I got the woman of my dreams. I'm able to do for her, do for me. We're able to travel, have a good time, and I'm really happy. I love my life, and I love my life with my wife. I don't know where I would be without her, but I'm cool. So that allows me to chill. It keeps my level at a certain level, chill right here. Unless some craziness happened, I'm right here. Because there's even a time we had an issue with our neighbor, and I didn't want to go. I don't want to go to jail. Okay, and
right.
People would try you. Even our relationship with my wife, people would try her. And me being, somebody has to be the calm person. So I took the calm route to say, baby, let this go, or baby, chill out. Now, if we were in Vegas one time and I was going to go off on a bartender and just pull me away. But that's the part. You have to compliment each other. And, like she knows what's good for me. I know what's good for her. And there was a time where I didn't believe that I thought, she's just coming at me. This is another female coming at me. But no, when you exhibit that love and that you're looking out for someone's best interest, and once that person realizes that, there's nothing you won't do for that person. And it's like there's nothing I won't do for her. I mean, when we spoke, I know this is in the past, but we spoke to financial issues and this and that. I went to a place and worked, to take care of my family. I did what I have to do. And whatever I had to do to make sure she was happy. If I'm not working, I'm not going to sleep that night. I'm getting up first thing in the morning. I'll make sure we got what we need. And that's just something that was in my DNA. Just like my DNA to be a husband and a father, it was something that was in me. So I'm going to do my part to make sure she's happy and we're settled. So right now, that was the early years. Right now, we at a chill point, and I can chill. Everything's cool, and we can chill. And we're able to talk about things. When issues come up, we're able to talk to them and keep moving, because the ultimate goal is for us to be happy, happy as a couple. So it's a lot of people pride get in the way and screw them over with men, but you have to push that to the side and do what's best for love.
I love that. That was very powerful, Leroy. And you said something that was so key, because I speak the love language of communication, and you said you talk about it. Can you talk about the importance of communication in marriage and relationships, please? Because some people, like you said, go ahead.
Yes, because a lot of times with guys, we macho, guys are macho, we got pride and all that, and it'll affect you if you don't talk. And a lot of times it gives you heart issues and conditions if you try to carry the load by yourself. But it's so much easier when you got two people fighting a war. It's a lot easier than one person fighting a war. And a lot of guys, they figure if they give up that information or if they give up this, now they not so much of a man. But it's no, you'll help me. That's the person that helps you through this, just like you do for her. When she come home and say, I had a rough day. This happened, that happened. You helping her because she's getting a chance to vent. Same thing with a man, but a lot of times we don't surrender that petition for help. We don't surrender it, and we try to carry the load, and that's not how it works. You got to be able to talk and explain that. And then even in the sex game, if if you don't talk about it, like there's some things my wife wants, and I don't know. I didn't know because I'm used to the old relationship in the 20s and 30s. Now we're moving 40, 50, and things change. But if we don't talk about it, then
for y'all,
yeah, she
I was just
don't,
waiting. I'm
she
sorry,
don't
it's been
get
a
what
long
she
day.
wants. So you got to be able to talk. Yeah. So even if they just said, well, what do you want? What you want from me? What you want me to do? How can I make you happy? Those conversations have to take place. But if not, then you become miserable and you don't even want to talk to each other, you ain't looking at each other. And the end result,
because you have to have a voice. You have to talk. You have to open up and say it because you won't know if you don't ask. I mean, and you don't talk about it. I don't know if I know when we first got together, that was one of his issues. He did not communicate.
Right.
A lot at all, really good at all. I'm the communicator in the relationship. So that was a hurdle for us. But we worked at it. We did counseling together. We did it because like he said, he's a man. My husband's an old school man. So old school man believes take care of your wife, take care of your children. They be happy. But as we've grown together, we understand that we are partners and we co-write this thing together. We still have more of the old school because we both old school. I love being a lady.
Right.
So, I like for him to take care of me and do that. But sometimes I like to be independent. And I'm like, INDEP. And I'm like, I want to do it myself.
You know what that means?
Right. But you have to talk about it, and you have to make sure that each person has a voice in what it is that they want and need from one another. And if you don't talk about it, you can't. So that was one of our hurdles that we had to overcome because I had to learn how to I had to show him because he just was not a big talk. He wouldn't communicate. He had a shutdown mechanism because of his previous relationships, and he, and then not having women who really had his best interest at heart. So one of the things I had to show him is that you can trust me. I ain't trying to come at you and tear down your ego, your manhood, nothing like that. And so learning how to talk to him and not at him, learning how to not say words, or talk to him like he a child instead of a man. Those were the things that I had to learn. And so we overcame that way with that. So we just, anytime, we talk more than anybody. I really don't even know why I want to have sister friends, only the fact that I love y'all and I love my sisters because he's my best friend.
We talk about everything. And that's my whole point when it comes to relationships. I need to be with my best friend. Every woman and every man on this live should understand that you need to be with your best friend and the chemistry just hits. Like you are just on the same wavelength. You understand the language. It's that telekinesis, like you say sometimes, like, when he's thinking about me and I'm thinking about him, we just get it. He don't got to say too much. And I just think that should just be the function of relationship. Yeah. I feel like that's so important. That's so beautiful. Yeah. And one thing I want to ask you,
don't have that.
Go ahead. No. So you have that, right?
If you don't have that, you have to work at it.
Go ahead.
No.
You got to work at it. Is that what you said?
No, but what was your question? I'm sorry. What was your question?
No, my question was, what I wanted to ask you was, I know that when God brings two people together, like it's the one, like Leroy was your one, when he brings two people together, oftentimes the enemy don't want to see true love happen. Because when one person is called by God, that's one thing. But when it's two, the enemy be trying it. Okay. So my question to you is, how you deal with them, mothers who be trying to get in your relationship? How to, because it's individual. It's sad that they're trying to mess up your happiness, one. And two, how do you check those people? And is it just a one-sided person, like, oh, my wife will check you if you're not careful? Or is it a two-sided thing, like, yo, back up off my wife, and yo, back up off my man? Because one thing I feel like when that Trinity comes for me, I will bust somebody's ass in the name of Jesus if they come checking for my man a little too hard. And you're going to see a side of Erica you don't want to see, because I feel like the passive-aggressive back in the day, Erica would have been like, well, everybody has a choice. We got 29 seconds. But now it's different. So go ahead, tell me. What would you say to anyone trying to interrupt your relationship?
Don't try me, try Jesus.
Facts. Facts. We got 15 seconds. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. The very first single Saturdays. I love you all. Tune in next week. We have a very special guest. Thank you so much, T and Leroy. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you,